Check. Stop.
Hello everyone, this is Vol for Life 8657, and I'm going to try not to take up too much time, but I wanted to discuss something that it's something that we've known for a while, but I think it bears worth taking into perspective. For any of us who are football fans of any kind, while we love the high scoring, speed and raw athleticism of the players, we also love a good tackle. Who doesn't love a good tackle? And I'm not talking about your standard wrap-up tackle. We love those hits that make the highlight reel. The hits that separate a player's consciousness from the ball. A hit that causes a fumble and allows for the defense to have a little fun on the field. That last-second heroic QB sack that ends a team's Super Bowl chances or ends a team's run at a college football playoff. All of that to say, concussions. I'm not here to refute CTE or the damage that it can cause. I am not here to refute that this is a problem. But we must ask ourselves, as fans of this sport, what about the rest of the players' bodies? I read an article just a few minutes ago, and it's called The Perspective. I will post a link to this article in my description when I upload this video so that you guys can read the article as well. 3 reasons for and against the concussion protocols. And the reasons for, well, it'll bring out raw athleticism, it'll make the game less violent, and it's safer for the players. Those are the 3 reasons for it. But I want to look and kind of break down the reasons against it. Most importantly, number 1, there are more leg injuries. There are more spinal injuries. There are more rib and other types of injuries because defenders who have been taught all of their lives, when you tackle hard, and you tackle in the chest and shoulder area, are being told by the NFL, not only can you not do that and we will penalize you 15 yards, but we will also fine and suspend you for doing what you've been taught your entire life. I am not a proponent of career-ending injuries of any kind, and as much as, and I will say this, as much as I do not like Tom Brady, I would not wish him harm or a career-ending injury on the field. Do I wish he'd get sacked a half dozen times per game? Yes, but I do not want him to have a career-ending injury. What the guy has done in his career is statistically undeniable, but I'm getting off of my soapbox. I'm getting onto another one, and that's not what this is about. You have offensive players who are stating, and who have stated, I would rather have a concussion for 2 or 3 weeks so that I can walk off the field and go visit my family than have a potentially life-altering leg injury or life-altering spinal injury or back injury. We're all worried about concussions and the damage that they can cause. Let's also think about the damage that can be caused to someone with fractured vertebrae or a shredded ACL. Those are career-ending injuries, but they are also life-altering injuries. That's reason number 1. Way too many other types of injuries. Number 2, and we've touched on this already, the fines and the suspensions for doing these things. Defenders just don't care. There are some defenders who have said, one of them in particular, I think he was for the Rams, he basically has said that if I have the opportunity to knock someone silly, I'm going to. And you know what? That's his job as a defender. As a defender, you are taught to tackle. You are taught to tackle with ferocity. You are taught to give everything that you can give in a tackle. And the offensive players are taught to take everything. Here's the problem. Tackles would be less violent if the offensive, and I heard this from a football player himself. He was a high school and college player. He now is an Uber driver. But he said part of the reason why hits are so violent and concussions and all this happen, and injuries in general happen, is that the offensive and the defensive players don't take the full force of the hit with their body. I'm not talking about hitting as hard as you can. I'm talking about the shock that your body goes through when you hit someone. You've heard the expression roll with the punches, and that means that when someone's going to punch you, you go into the punch so that you absorb the hit better. What is this number? Anyways, the second thing, and that's the second thing is, the players don't take the hits as good as they should. The third and final reason that players are against it, or that we should be against this protocol, is players are lying to their doctors about receiving a concussion because they have dedication to their craft and they don't want to have their careers altered or changed. A player would much rather continue to play and help his team than admit that they have a concussion in the first place, because that means so much time away. Those are the reasons that this article gives for being against concussions, and I, for one, are against the concussion protocol, and I, for one, am alarmed at the amount of other injuries we're getting. All the rules and all of the things that the NFL and colleges are doing to protect against concussions are endangering the players in other ways.
Stop recording. Check.